Yeah. Change your plans. I'm going to ask CommenterNation this question. Shout to it. Commenter Universe and Galaxy. You already know. Now, let me ask y'all. Should Domislive do the Zabella story? Yes, Dom, I know. I know you're reaching out to her. I know not only are you reaching out to her, that you're contemplating doing a story. What do you think, CommenterNation? Should he put out there the things that Zabella is saying? Now, as a lot of commenters reached out and said, there's a lot going on Cleo's page. Now, why am I mentioning should he do it? Because I know that he knows Cleo, that he obviously had some type of connection with XxxTentacion before he left. That's why he got the shout out. He plays it faithfully. Should you do the Zabella story? In my opinion, Dom, if you are the type of person or realist you claim to be, whatever level of real you stand at, you need to do this story. I don't think it should be in question whether or not you should do this story. Matter of fact, this is your saving grace right here to show that you're not biased media. You're putting out there an ideology of what she's saying and allowing them to combat it. Now, I could tell you, I seen the threats she was getting. And they were subtle, but they were threats nonetheless. Why is she getting those threats? You seem like a very competent man. When I spoke about it, you seemed competent. You questioned some things I did and said. And hopefully now you see why. Because if you guys talk, you realize it was crazy. Not crazy as in she's crazy, but it was a crazy conversation. Just as her and I had. It's crazy. So you're going to tell me you're going to pass that up just to not put it out there. And listen, guys, I'm only digging into the surface of what crazy is because I got crazy things that were said to me. Crazy. Like, I mean, it really made me think. Really did. But the type of stuff she's saying now, I asked her how she know. What's wrong with asking her how does she know these things? What's wrong with adding this to the media? Because right now, all of your subscribers are looking at these four men as the evil of the earth. That's the problem. There's no bias, so there's no room for them to even be examined in an objective way. There's a lot of bad thought that goes to their character and a lot of things being thought about them that could or could not be true. We don't know yet because as we see, there's multiple moving pieces to pull this off. Are you going to open up, stay objective, and be respectful to them? That's what I want to know. I'd like to know that along with a lot of other people. You should do this story. Now, I told her to be careful. Why did I tell her this? I'll tell you why. Because you said you want her to stick by you to help you hold the credibility of what she's saying. But I told her, if that is not the case, could you not kick her under the bus? Kick her under the bus like, oh, I never thought it was real. That's not the type of stuff we do. So if that's the route you're going to take and not let her speak her piece and put it out there for the people she's speaking these things against to come out and say things to her, deny her, whatever it takes to prove their point, then you don't do the story because that's not real. That's not real. You're not addressing the situation in any way, shape, or form. And you know I'm telling the truth about that. So if you can't do it that way, just don't do it. That's the best advice I could give to it. But yes, it's not you asking her to stand behind her words as much as I'm saying if you can't stand behind your media, then I don't think you should do it. Because I know you have a personal friendship with some of these other people. And if these other people come up, I'm not trying to hear a story where you just throw down what someone says instead of giving them a chance to rebuttal it. And so something in my mind tells me if any of these people she's speaking of steps up and says something, you'll stand behind them wholeheartedly, like she never said what she said. And I would hope that's not the case. But I believe that this is your realest moment to stand up and say, look, I was never what they claimed I was. I was actually open-minded, real, and direct with what I thought and what I believed in. And no one ever swayed my media. This is that opportunity. Zabella, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't have proof for these things you're saying, you can't just say things out of anger unless you have text messages, emails. And I seen one of the threatening texts, but I don't know who it's from. And it was pretty crazy. It was mad subtle, but it was threats nonetheless. If you're not saving all of this and having proof, I think you need to be careful. Now, here's my thing. The reason I'm not going specific in the detail, because it alluded to other things that aren't really of this series, but some other stuff that I never even spoke on. So that's not even the lane I'm trying to go down. You know, do what y'all do in real life, but that's some other stuff. I don't want to know what you guys do in your spare time like that. But ultimately, is Dom going to take on this story? Is he going to make something out of it? Is he going to hear her out? Is he going to let her speak freely without adding any shade or any type of device to her credibility that can shoot it down or disingenuously hand it over? Is he going to look at it like he looks at everyone else? Like you let everyone else... Listen, here's what I'm saying. You let those fake witnesses jump up on your stage. The fake guy who now claims he was never there, and you said that. Didn't I tell you I had like 18 commenters on there that seen you said it, and we were all like, what? Who is this lame? Like, denying he was even there. Like, that's time. If you're going to let them jump up on there without checking them, you need to let Zabella speak. You really do. And I don't know if you're going to do it because you're going to get phone calls on the side like, don't do it. And you're like, I'm not going to do it. I don't know what you're going to do. But I can tell you right now that you let some fakes up on your stage. And if that's the case, let me ask you this and give you respect in this term. Were you convinced to put them up on your channel? And who did it? Because, see, if TheCzarr knows that, that would literally connect a lot of the dots that, let's say, otherwise would not be connected. Because I'm looking at some whole other stuff that would connect the dots on, and I'd be like, okay. So, were they put up there by recommendation, or was it you who chose to reach out and put them up on there? And if this is the case, what's wrong with putting Zabella up if you put them up without checking their credibility, letting them speak their piece? A guy who was talking about everything there, now he's saying he was never there. That was weird to me. That was crazy to me. So let me know something. Where we at with it? Let Zabella speak her piece. Domislive meets Zabella now. TheCzarr already met her. And we don't mean physically. I met who she was. Got details on some other things. And here's my thing. Why does TheCzarr speak on it? Well, I have three other commenters. Three other commenters that synonymously spoke on an issue not knowing her that was similar to stuff she said. How would that be possible? They never even knew her. And they spoke and said exact scenarios revolving around the same people in the same situation at different points in time. That's when I speak on things. Period. And yeah, I see the person keep making a new username, sliding off, making fake names about me in Instagram. You're lame. Can you stop the slob activity? Stop the slob activity. Who are you working for? Whose puppet are you? Whose puppet are you? Whose puppet are you? Just tell me. You don't have to keep dancing around. Whose puppet are you? Because now I know you're a puppet. I'm not acknowledging you, not talking about you. You keep doing things. Whose puppet are you? Tagging them? Do you think I care? No, I let them. I went on. All rights reserved. Period.